Hello again, and let's keep going with our review of multiplying. This is going to be a review of multiplying by 5. So we're going to go through the same process. The thing about multiplying by 5 is there is not a trick like there is when you multiply by 0, 1, or 2. So this one, you have to know how to count by 5s, and that's really the only way to get it down. But you guys know how to count by 5s. When you count by 5s, you skip over 4 numbers. Your ones place is always going to end with either a 5 or a 0. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and we keep going. We're only going to need to 60 when we multiply by 5s. So let's go ahead and look at the first one. 0 times 5, of course, this one has a trick. Anytime you multiply by 0, the answer is always 0, no matter what. The next one, we have 1 times 5. You're going to always look at the other number. 1 times 5 is 5. And you're going to start noticing the progression of numbers is going to start counting by 5s. 2 times 5. We just talked about in my previous video how to multiply by 2. So you can look at the other number and you can say 5 plus 5, which is taking the double. 5 plus 5 is 10. So 5 times 2 is also 10. Okay, this is where it's going to get a little bit more difficult. Now, when we get to 3 times 5, we're going to count by 5s 3 times. So we're going to say 5, 10, 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5, we're going to do the same thing. 5, 10, 15, 20. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let me line this up, make sure you can see everything. Okay, 6 times 5. All you're doing is counting by 5 6 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Which you can't see. There's my 30. So 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 5. You're going to count by 5 7 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 8 times 5. You're going to count by 5 8 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 8 times 5 is 40. 9 times 5. You're going to count by 5 9 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 9 times 5 is 45. 10 times 5. You're going to count by 5 10 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 10 times 5 is 50. 11 times 5. Remember, there's a trick for 11s. And the trick for 11 is that it's the same thing as 1 times 5 and then 1 times 5 again. So 1 times 5 is 5 and 1 times 5 is 5. So that means our answer is 55. Now that's the trick, but you could also count by 5 11 times and you would get 55 as well on that one. All right, let's move to our last one. I kind of squished it in there. So 12 times 5, you're going to count by 5s 12 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 12 times 5 is 60. Now, you may be thinking, wow, that took a long time when we got to the bigger numbers. That's true. Counting by fives that many times every single time is going to take a while, but the more you practice, the more you will just start to memorize these, that 10 times 5 is always going to be 50. So this is a good way to start learning it because we know how to count by fives. And all you do is look at the other number, and that's how many times that you count by fives. Like I said, if you practice, you will get it. Just be patient and keep working at it. And that's it. All right, so that was multiplying by 5.